What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I have wonderful news. We finally know what those pre-release leaders are going to look like for One Piece. I've been waiting so long to actually be able to show you what they look like, and now I actually can, and I am delighted. Oh yeah, also it looks like they might have nerfed a card. Just kind of casually nerfed a card and hoped we wouldn't notice. We've noticed, ladies and gentlemen. We need to have a good old chat about that as well. But first, let's look at these pre-release leaders. Now this was posted over on Facebook by Eric Molina, who is a C2E2 and has seen them. Thank you very much for posting these. And what we've got, let's start with Luffy, is we finally got a look at this leader card, and we know it's the right one because it literally has the super pre-release stamp on it. And the reason we need to start with the Luffy one is very simply because where's this card? Like, for ages I have been telling you that I thought this was going to be the super pre-release card, and incidentally, even though I've ended up being wrong, I don't feel bad about that at all, because this was a very sensible prediction. A good prediction can be wrong, and a bad prediction can be right. And this was a good prediction, because we've got these Luffy promos over in Japan. Now, we first saw it, and it was limited to 300. The second time they showed us it was limited to 500. But essentially, you go to tournaments, and if you win, you get this limited card. And it's a limited Luffy, which is an alternate art, and this is really important. It is the same card. It is literally the same card. It is the Luffy leader from the starter deck. Again, another reason why this was a very sensible prediction. So we had this limited Luffy given out in Japan that was an alternate art version of the starter deck Luffy. And then we had this unrevealed promo card, which was a limited alternate art version of the starter deck Luffy. I can't believe they're not the same card. But they're not, ladies and gentlemen. And also, as a side note, we now need to know where this card is coming, and we have absolutely no idea where this card is coming. But again, over in Japan, in Digimon, they have had a bunch of promo cards over the years, well, over the year and two. And we've had all of them. Every Japanese promo card eventually comes over here. So I've got to imagine this Luffy will. I'm imagining there are going to be tournaments where you can win it. That's what I'm assuming. But as it stands, we don't actually know. But this is now officially the artwork on the Luffy. And I'm going to be honest with you. When I first saw that, I was like, hang on a second. Isn't that the dual color leader from Romance Dawn? Turns out, no. It's not the dual color leader from Romance Dawn. I think the artwork looks kind of similar. But hey-ho, ladies and gentlemen. Hey-ho. And obviously, I know it's not exactly the same, but it's similar enough for me that it makes me go, I mean, it's way more similar to that than the regular artwork. Anyway, that's what it looks like. But we have seen the other ones as well. So here is Kaido next to the one we've already seen, the one we saw initially, the regular one. I think this is one I'm going to go for just because I like the Kaido deck. I think it looks really fun. Here is your Eustass Kid. Now, remember I showed you that, at least early on, this is proving to be a pretty good deck, although a bunch of the others are catching up, and it's way too early to really make these pronouncements yet, but it is there. That is that one. And here is Crocodile, and I'll be honest with you, right, neither of the artworks of Crocodile makes me even remotely happy. I just don't think I'm going to enjoy playing Crocodile. Also, right, the Kaido alternate art is really cool, but the Crocodile looks way too similar to the regular one. So, I think of all of them, Kaido is one where they've really actually gone off and shown really different artwork. And then Luffy, but then it looks quite a lot like the dual color one, so I don't know. But either way, those are your super pre-release leaders, and this is lovely. I've been waiting to see them, now we have, and I am delighted. Shout out to Eric Molina for sharing those over on Facebook. But that is not the only thing we've learned at conventions lately, because Orange Samurai went and posted this over on the Facebook page. And what is very interesting, although it did come from Suave over on YouTube, and what is really interesting is that if you put this next to the official scan of Eustass Kid from Romance Dawn, this is the super rare Eustass Kid from Romance Dawn, you might notice a gigantic difference. Like a huge difference. And that is that the Japanese scan clearly and obviously says Dawn X1. But this version that was gone and posted over at a convention, and then these are basically shown off. This is, it's Dawn X2. Now, there is a note, as there always is at these events. These cards are for display purposes and may not necessarily reflect on the official English release. There's always, Orange Samurai has told us that as well. There's always a note, because they're always subject to change until they're actually released. But this is huge. Now, I showed you a winning green deck the other day, and in that winning green deck, I showed you they play this Eustass Kid. It's actually a really good skill. Now, the unchanged one is activate main once per turn. You may rest this character and play a character card of a cost of 3 or less from your hand. Okay, that's cool. We like being able to rest this to play a card for free. But the other really good thing about this is Dawn X2 on your opponent's turn. If this card is rested, your opponent cannot attack any character other than Eustass Captain Kid. So essentially this is a big 8,000 power character, and then you use this skill, and now your opponent has to go after Kid, so they can't, for instance, take out your blockers before they attack. They can't take out your support characters that are never intending to attack, but are resting themselves to use useful skills. They have to go after Eustass Kid. And here's the thing. Now it's much harder to actually use. Remember, your Dawn deck has 10 Dawn cards in, so the absolute maximum amount of Dawn you can have available to you every turn is 10. The maximum amount of Dawn you can attach is 10. And you're not going to be doing that every turn, alright? Because you put 1 out on turn 1 and then 2 every other turn and blah, blah, blah. It takes like 5-6 turns to actually get all of your Dawn out on the field. So the difference between attaching 1 Dawn to use a skill and attaching 2 Dawn is huge. That Dawn is an extra 1,000 power to whatever character you attach it to. You can only attach so much Dawn. Your Dawn is a very precious resource. So you cannot just be randomly throwing it round on a card like this. So there are a couple of things to note here. Number 1, this is not an official English release. It is a card shown off at an event which might not actually be right. This might be a printing error. They might have messed up printing this card, and that's why they always have these little notes saying that, they're subject to change and all of that. It's why products on Bandai websites always say still designing or not final, even when they're clearly final, because that way they can change stuff at the last minute if they need to, even though most of the time it's actually way too late, but shh. So this could be a printing error. But then by the same token, it might not be. And that raises all kinds of questions like, hang on a second, is this just the start? Is this going to keep happening? Are we going to see more cards being nerfed between the Japanese and English releases? As a side note, if this is an actual nerf, yes, it will definitely be for Japan as well. There is absolutely no way they nerf it for us and not Japan. It will be a worldwide nerf. If they have actually nerfed it, an errata will be issued for Japan, because Bandai do this with Digimon, and again, they're following Digimon really closely. They will change the Japanese card or issue an errata. That is all but guaranteed. But that does raise questions of what is going to happen in the future. Now, what I have heard people mention is, what about cards like Nami? Now, quite obviously, depending on how you want to show off your card game, there are questions about having cards like Nami, who is clearly a character in a bikini. Don't worry about it. And the reason I say don't worry about it is because we can go and look at Digimon, and again, once again, I've said this many times, I'm going to say it many more, Digimon are clearly setting the template for One Piece, and Bandai are following it. But we can look at cards like Beelstarmon as an example that are clearly kind of similar, And there's no issue here. There's no kind of... We've not seen anything along these lines that would suggest Digimon are going to be changing any of these kind of cards. So, yeah, I don't think revealing clothing is something that's going to lead to a ban or a change in artwork. But remember, we have seen some card art be changed. And that is that Systemon Noir doesn't exist in the English game. What we've got instead is Systemon Seal. Systemon Noir has been removed from the game because of the religious imagery in the card. It's just gone. So in BT6, we had Systemon Noir, and we had Full Art Systemon Noir. But then if you go to BT6 in English, what you see is Systemon Seal and Full Art Systemon Seal. And incidentally, that's carrying on, although they have now introduced Systemon Seal in Japan, which is weird. And any card that even had Systemon Noir in the background, Systemon Noir has been removed. Systemon Noir has been completely removed from the English version of the game, but that's a thing to do with religious imagery, and it might offend some religious people rather than anything else. So no, things like bikinis or revealing clothing is not going to lead to an artwork change or a ban, because it hasn't for Digimon, so it shouldn't for One Piece. However, things that, that are invoking religious imagery absolutely might. To go back to Eustass Kid, what's going to happen with this, we don't know. It is either a misprint or they're actually nerfing the card, and we have no real way of knowing that for the time being. So all I'm saying is, be aware. Know that this might be the case, because we kind of need to know if this is going to happen in the future. Alright, there's the One Piece news. Some of the biggest news we've seen, right? Finally seeing these cards, absolutely huge. The pre-release promos, and potentially nerfing a card between the English and Japanese release is, again, absolutely huge. But now it's over to you guys. I want to know what you think about the pre-release promos. I want to know what you think about this Kid Eustass nerf. And frankly, anything else you want to tell me. So go nuts in the comment section. But be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far, the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.